broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
What's up, everybody? You are tuned into an AfterBuzz TV exclusive, which you are watching live on the AfterBuzz YouTube page, which you can subscribe to directly below where you see the screen. Of course, you can download them on iTunes and SoundCloud. And joining me right now, he's one of the tag team champions. I would say one half, or I don't know if it's considered a third, because they might be doing Freebird rules. And this Sunday, he will be defending those tag team titles in a 2 out of 3 falls match against Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. Big E is joining me. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. So yeah, explain it to me. Are you guys going forward with the Freebird rules that any one of you can be, or any three of you, I should say, could defend the tag titles, or is it just solely you and Kofi?
Yeah, that's a general sentiment. I think ideally, I think we're trying to change it to the New Day rules.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the premise that we're all champions equally, and that any of us can defend it. So I mean, it's something that hasn't been done in quite some time. So we're trying to bring that back.
Very cool. I want to ask you about we played you in with your new theme music, the New Day music. Who kind of came up with that idea? Because it's very almost kind of like a Kirk Franklin style. It's definitely the motivating music, which I know is your guys' message to the WWE universe. Who was the one who kind of came up with the idea of you guys coming out and the whole clap?
It's all very collaborative. I guess we really talk about the roots of how everything started. That's probably a 4 or 5 hour conversation. But I would think originally when we found out or came upon what this idea would be, we were first given some music that was very old-timey gospel. It sounded like it was recorded, 60 years ago. And we knew this, wouldn't really work for what we were trying to do. So we went back, we actually listened to some Kirk Franklin, and I found a couple songs that we liked. And then sent them to Jim Johnson and the people that work on music, and they were able to come up with something that you hear every week now. So it felt like it would be a little more appropriate for what we're trying to do.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, because it's definitely cool, and it's different because all three of you are getting equal mic time, which is something that you don't normally see when you have groups of 3 or more, which I think is really cool. Let me ask you. During your time as you've kind of escalated up, the ranks of WWE, you were starting in NXT, former NXT champion, and down there you are also known for doing the King Kong Bundy 5 count. Do you miss doing that as well? Because the NXT crowd was very avid in the 5 chants, and then like on the main stage on Raw and SmackDown wasn't really doing that much when you first came up. Was that something that you wanted to push forward when you went up to the main roster to keep people down through the count of 5?
Oh yeah, it definitely was something that I wanted to do for quite some time. It didn't really make a lot of sense when I first started. I was kind of the silent bodyguard with Dolph and AJ, but it was even alluded to in my singles theme song, 395. So. It's something that I thought, like you said, I worked really well with NXT, something that people responded to, something that I think people on the main roster will respond to as well. And who knows if that's something that we'll ever see on WWE programming. But, yeah, it's something that I really enjoyed doing. It kind of, for me, solidified when I run in NXT using the 5 count. I felt like it really solidified me as a guy. For me, at least, it felt like, all right, I'm ready to do something, on the main roster, because people responded so well to it, and I felt like I could step out on my own and really get that confidence that I could be a major player. So it's, who knows if we'll ever see it again, but it's something that I really enjoy doing.
Okay. And you were talking about being the silent bodyguard type when you were with Dolph and AJ. I want to go back to the night after WrestleMania a few years ago when Dolph Ziggler cashed in his Money in the Bank on Alberto Del Rio, where you were ringside, for that huge moment of his career. And honestly, to my memory, it was one of the loudest pops I have ever heard come through my TV set on a Monday Night Raw. What did it mean to you, not being up on the main roster for very long, being a part of such a huge moment, not just in Dolph's career, but in like a big Monday Night Raw moment in general?
It was very cool, and for me, it's one of those things. Like sometimes you wonder if you misremember things, or if it just happened to be louder to you at the moment than it actually was to people at home. But I felt the same. It felt like one of the loudest reactions we've heard on TV in quite some time. And it was really cool to be associated with Dolph, who was so beloved, and still is very beloved. But it's something that I think if you pay attention, kind of look at the reactions, I feel like there were a lot of very, very real emotions, very real reactions after you won the title. And it really felt like there was no need to like have to put on a smile or to be excited. We were all very, AJ and I were just very proud of him, very happy for him. It was something that was a long time coming. Unfortunately, because of the issue with concussions, he wasn't able to really have the kind of run that we thought he would have with the title right afterwards. But, we always just try to, you think about counting moments, you think of important, big, memorable moments. And like I said, as far as reaction is concerned, that's one of the loudest that I can remember ever hearing. And it's just really cool, even though, I was just standing at ringside for that, it's still cool to be a part of that and to be around for it. And even just to have one of the best seats in the house, just standing ringside for a moment like that. And that's something that I won't forget anytime soon.
Yeah, and then switching forward to today, obviously, like we were talking about earlier, you're with Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. You're currently a tag team champion. You're a former Intercontinental champion. What has been more fun for you, having kind of the single spotlight as the Intercontinental champion, or what you're doing right now with your friends Kofi and Woods as a unit, as a tag team?
I'd say as far as what's more important, it might have been winning the IC title because, right before that, there was a lull in my career, kind of, I think there's 6 weeks after the bodyguard run was finished, where I really wasn't on Raw or SmackDown, and then I ended up, having a couple matches with Punk, and then helping him against Baxter, and then eventually winning the IC title. So for me, it was my first time really stepping out on my own, on the main roster. But as far as fun is concerned, I would say easily what I'm doing now with the New Day, with Woods, with Kofi. It's just something that feels very organic. We're all friends. We travel together every single night. We're on the road. And it's been a ton of work. We've had people, behind the scenes, important people. We've had, people who told us this wasn't going to work. We would never get very far. We were, for a while, we were constantly afraid of not being a thing anymore, being broken up. And we were able to persevere through a lot. And like I said, this whole chapter of our careers, it's something that we can go on and on about. There's so many different details that maybe someday people will hear in full. But this is really, honestly, the incarnation of this idea was over a year ago. We started working on this over a year ago, and it was months and months of work for this to finally come to fruition. So to feel vindicated after about a year of work to finally win those tag titles, and to be with two guys that you kind of gone through the trenches with, obviously metaphorically speaking, and just dealing with so many ups and downs is really cool. And now I think we're in a position where people start to see our true personalities. They start to see how much fun we're having, and we're getting opportunities to show that. I think the Raw that we had about a week ago was really cool for us to be in. It felt like about a third of the show to start a big win over Randy and Roman. But I really felt like, to have an opening promo, a segment promo, and to more than hold our own against guys like Randy and Roman, guys that you see in the main events of WrestleManias on a yearly basis, is pretty cool. So I'm really proud of the two guys that I'm in the ring with, and it's really cool to know the journey and the ups and downs that it took to get here. And honestly, we're having a blast doing it.
That's honestly really cool. I love, honestly, I respect the honesty that you're bringing, and I appreciate that. Let me ask you, during your run as the Intercontinental Champion, you started, you were Big E Langston. Then all of a sudden, kind of overnight, you're just Big E. We dropped the Langston part. And we've been seeing that with several wrestlers. Antonio Cesaro became Cesaro. Alexander Rusev became Rusev. Adrian Neville is now Neville. Why do you think they're dropping part of your names?
I'm not sure exactly what happened. It's comical for some people. But for me, honestly, it's a matter of showing up to work one day and then being told, hey, actually by one of the guys who used to run social media at WWE, and so you show up and say, hey, so you're Big E now, right? And no longer Big E Langston. But you have to change your Twitter handle and whatnot. So that's it's one of those things. Sometimes it's not as collaborative. You just show up and your name's different. But for me, the word I got was that Vince thought Big E sounded more powerful, without the last name. So you show up, and sometimes, in what we do, there's a debate or discussion, or you just have more say so, and it's a little more hands on. And in this instance, for me, it was showing up, and this is who you are now. So you deal with it.
How much time do you get to exercise per day? Because you look like someone who is kind of familiar with a gym.
Yeah, I've been there once or twice. For me, it's always been a passion of mine for a very long time. Honestly, I've been working out, truly working out properly since I was 12. And, I just fell in love with it very quickly. On the road, it's often more difficult to find time. But it's a huge part of our job. So even if it means sacrificing sleep, sometimes it's what we do to get to the gym. So typically, it's not as crazy as people think. Sometimes I think people assume that you spend half your day in the gym, but we just can't afford to do that, and it's not really beneficial. So usually it's about an hour and a half a day. I usually work out 4 to 5 times a week, and you just find time to do it when you can.
Any exercise that you hate doing that you're just like, oh, I got to do this one?
I don't know if it's an exercise per se, but I feel like I'm very fast twitch, fibery, so I'm awful at high reps. But I had to powerlifting for a while. I was actually a national champion in powerlifting, so I'm very much used to lifting a heavy weight for 1 rep and then resting 15 minutes. But as far as doing anything for a ton of reps, CrossFit, I have a great deal of respect for. But that is not up my alley at all. So just anything that's really high rep is not really my thing.
And the most popular question I've gotten from my my Twitter followers is they wanted to ask about your ring gear, because they've always tweeted to me, is just like, why is his ring gear kind of like it seems a little shorter than on most other wrestlers? Why do you is it something you're just more comfortable with?
Actually, I don't know if you remember this, but for a while I had the tablets here, which was much more revealing. And,
I do.
I had a bit of an issue with my cheeks being out on a weekly basis, which it's a bit of a dark period in my career. A little bit embarrassing back and thinking that stuff and seeing your whole behind out on TV. But I think kind of the word I got was, Vince likes bodies, and when you have a certain body part that stands out, sometimes he likes to show it off. So he liked that I have big legs, and showing off my big legs was something that he wanted. So there it is. It's just kind of, it's just a matter of having my legs out. So thankfully, my cheeks, for the most part, are covered nowadays, but the legs still are exposed.
Well, thank you for answering that for the Twitter followers, and thank you so much for taking the time to call in today. Of course, those of you listening and watching, if you're not following Big E on Twitter yet, you can follow him at WWE Big E. And again, this Sunday, will you be the one defending the tag titles, or are you going to be sitting out?
You never know. That's the thing. It's always a surprise. So I think that's part of the appeal. Is that you show up and you turn on your tubes or fire up the network and you see what happens.
All right. Well, yeah, you're going to tune into the WWE Network this Sunday for WWE Presents Payback. The New Day defending the tag titles in a 2 out of 3 falls match against Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. Again, once again, at WWE Big E is where you can tweet him. Big E, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, that was Big E. You can follow him on Twitter at WWBigE. You can follow me on Twitter at Real Rosenberg. And, of course, for all your other AfterBuzz news, gossip, and recaps, follow them on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Christian Rosenberg, and we'll see you later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.